Hello everyone. I am back. And I'm back after a complete like PC crash. I think our Game Boy emulator was able to crash my PC amazingly. So yeah, I stopped for a little bit to have lunch and now we are ready to go for the second part of today. So might as well get started, I guess. So where were we? Okay, change scene. Good job, me. So yeah, if I don't sleep here, for some reason, the amount of memory just grows and grows forever and ever. Like I can literally show you. Like if I pause the game, 19, 19.1, 19.2, 19.3, 19.4, just goes and goes and goes and goes. Because the game is paused, the Game Boy emulator is paused. But if I unpause it, then it goes back to regular values. But if I put this sleep here, then even if I pause it here, then this never grows. Magic. They tell me it's magic. I don't know. Guys, we still aren't able to boot the game. Yeah, I'm trying to essentially read the assembly of what the game is supposed to be doing during boot and trying essentially to figure out where are we going wrong, because it might be there's some weird instruction that is causing all of this to happen, you know? So what I ended up doing is, well, I think I can get rid of this one, but what I ended up doing is I'm only storing the next 1,000 instructions after a specific program counter. And we are trying to see, because essentially at the boot phase, the RAM can have like arbitrary values because that's how RAM works. So the first step that the game does is trying to clear a bunch of this data, like setting 0 to huge arrays of memory. And we just finished that pretty much. And the next instruction, or the instruction around 2A0 on the program counter, will jump to actual game code and start doing gaming stuff. So if I put this running and I pause it and then I click L, these are the next 1,000 instructions that run after something. But you'll see here that here we are calling 2795, which is one of the addresses like here in the game, right? So if I scroll down, I'll be able to go to 72795. It's like jumping here, okay? And prior to this, it was on 2A0. So when we return from this, we should go to 2A3. So let's see what the hell this does. So this writes this big number into HL, this writes 400 into BC, this writes to F into A, and then it copies the value from A into HL, or the memory pointed by HL, and then it decrements HL by 1. HL is 9BFF, which we know that is somewhere into video RAM. So yeah, I mean, this is doing it. It wrote it once and then it decrements to BC, so BC is now reFF. It copies B to A. It does a bitwise OR between C and A. And then it jumps. If the value is non-zero, then it does a relative jump of F8, which is like 7 bytes above. So it essentially tries to like do this over and over again. And well, C is 0, right? Because B is 04, C is 0. We are only, no, we are decrementing BC. I mean, yeah, this is doing something, but it will only skip ahead to the instruction given by A3 whenever A and C are both 0. So this is essentially copying values into video RAM. Pretty much. I don't think we need to care much about this. Last address is A1. So now we need to figure out if there's something about A2 or A3. We just keep scrolling and scrolling. A1 still. Keep going on A1. Still A1, still A1. It looks like it's gonna do this a bunch of times. Probably like 400 times or something. So I might as well put a A3 here, which will be the next instruction, right? So now we compile, we wait for this to do this, we pause and we log. Okay, so there it copied something to the video RAM. And now on to A3, it's gonna call 7FF3, which is this address here. Okay. Then it's writing 0 in all of these, DNF, char RAM, wherever these are, writing 255 to A, and then it goes on FF25, FF12, 17, 21, 14, 19. Okay, so these are actual registers that do something into the Game Boy. So let's try to figure out what does all of these mean. Okay, so this calls this, and this is an immediate jump here, and writes 0 in all of these. Okay, I think we had already came from a call. Hold on. Yeah, 0. I think we already came from a call function, if memory serves me correct. Yeah, so we were on, yeah, I think I need to start writing this stuff. So we were on this, and then we called to 795, which we then jumped and executed and did a bunch of stuff. And no, hold on. This is just looping. 27 is 0, a 1. Okay, so I need a 27. Okay, I think I was on the wrong part of the code. 27A3. Hello, Simonot. Yeah. We keep going. 27A3. And then 27A3 returns. So it should return on A3 because it's always this plus 3. Okay, so this is correct. And then we were on 2A3 and we call 7F F3. And then on 7F F3 we jump to 69A5. Crazy. Does a jump put something into the stack pointer? I don't think it does. Let me check. No. It does not. It does not. Okay, but we jump to 6985. Okay, so this was the correct position. Okay, so this is an XOR, so it writes 0 to A, then it writes 0 to all of these. It sets to 55 to A, and then it goes on FF25, which are IO registers. Okay, so FF25 is going to be audio, sound panning, then which is essentially enabling all of this. Then it sets a 3 to the memory DF78, which is something. Then it writes 8 to FF12, which is still here, to FF12, which is like weird volume stuff. Then to F17. FF17. Okay, and then to FF21. Okay, so this is trying to set up some weird, well, not some weird, but it's trying to set up audio. But I don't think we need to do anything regarding this. I mean, it's just writing values to memory. For now, it's whatever. FF19, which is an R14, cool. FF23, oops, which is channel 4 control. Triggers the channel. Length timer expired is reset. Okay, so I wonder if this is waiting for some timer interrupt, right? As in, it starts playing the audio and then it's just waiting for the audio to stop playing and then it should do something. Triggers the channel. Channel 4 is enabled. The length timer expired is reset. LFSR bits. Oh, Okay, so maybe it might be waiting for something specific on the noise channel. Okay, we need to keep that into account. Okay, and then we have FF10, which is still audio, a sweep, and then FF1A, which is DAC, which is digital audio something. Okay, and then it runs all of these, and then it returns. And then it returns here. Okay, so when it returns, it should go to a 6, right? And not... Right. When this returns, it should go to the next instruction after this one, 2A3. So it's 2A6. Okay, which looks proper. Oh, and then it's setting a bunch of interrupts. Okay. Yep. It's waiting for interrupts. We are cooked. We are cooked. We are doomed. Okay, so if we go on FFFF, interrupt enable, so it's writing a 9. So it's writing a 1 on a serial and the 1 on a V blank. Okay, what is the serial? The serial interrupt is requested upon completion of a serial data transfer. I mean, we still don't have the Gameboy cable, so I don't think this is required. 8 serial clock cycles after starting a transfer by setting SC bit 7 FFO2. Yeah. This is between Game Boy stuff. I don't think we need this. This is for the 2-player mode. Okay, but it's waiting for serial and V blanks interrupts. Well, enabling them. Hold on, what's the difference between interrupt enable and interrupt flag? Okay, so this one is a check if there are interrupts. This one is the interrupts to check, and this is the value for the interrupts. Okay. Okay, but this is writing 1, 2, 4, 8. This is writing 9, so serial and V blank 1. And then we go to FFC0. Okay, it's not here. FF. Is it memory map again? No, FFC0 is IRAM. Okay, this is IRAM 37, this is IRAM 80, and then it enables interrupts. Then it XORs, and then it jumps to on 7A. Okay, and then it pushes all of these. Ay, ay, ay. F98. Ay, caramba. Okay, here we go back to 14 to 15. FF stuff. There's a space here somewhere. Oh no, because this is okay. I see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, this returns, this set the interrupts, this enable the interrupts. So you'll wait for an interrupt for the VBlank. So the VBlank one will be triggered. XOR A. Pushes all of these into the stack pointer. FFCE. This is all IRAM. So this is checking Twelve is 16, 17, 18. This is an 18. 18 bytes. Damn. This code here is weird. No, although this is keeping 12 ahead. I don't know, but this is very difficult. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I mean, this is a jump to the future, so it jumps by 12. Although is this correct though? So when I jump ahead, do I need to count the current program counter that I have, or the program counter after the execution? So if I am on 185 hexadecimal and I add 12, I should go to 107. But in reality, this program counter is on 85, 86. Okay, let's... Yeah, I wonder if this jump here is wrong. Relative jump. Targus is encoded as a signed 8-bit offset from the address immediately following the JR instruction. Okay, so this is 85, 86, 87, so it's 87 plus 12. Okay. So then this calls on 0. Hi American, good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. How's it going? Going. The tough part about building an emulator is that when nothing is working, you don't know what is wrong. Which is not an ideal situation to be in. Some Zaire with the first. Good job, my guy. Good job. And hello, Samzair. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah. How's it going? So, I am able to boot a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna snooze now. The ads, hold on. Okay. Ads have been snoozed. I am able to boot a little bit of Tetris, but I'm not able to actually see anything on the screen. And apparently it's stuck in an infinite loop. Like it's essentially running the same instructions over and over again, which means that it's waiting for some condition that never happens. And I'm trying to figure out what condition that is. And so I'm reading assembly. Which is, again, not an ideal circumstance to be in. But we have to play the cards that we are dealt. Our condition is wrong. Our condition is wrong. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I did snooze the ads. Okay. And they snoozed, I see. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. Essentially, I'm trying to interpret all the commands in my brain and like rubber ducking my way out of this situation and try to figure out what is wrong. But one thing that immediately jumps to my mind is that here we are enabling interrupts, and prior to this we wrote to the interrupt enable register. And we wrote a 9 there, which is a serial for 2 players and a V blank. And here we are enabling it. So essentially, after this line here, whenever we render one frame, our interrupt handler is getting called for each frame. Or it should be, at the very least it should be. How come you can tell where it gets stuck? As you handle instructions, you should be able to tell the last one you handled, right? Yes, but because they are running on a loop, like... And essentially this is, from what I'm able to understand, this is trying to clear regions of RAM, like to prepare the game to boot, right? It's like setting zeros and all that crap. But because it's failing, then it's retrying that over and over again. So it's doing the same load 0 into that memory address, increment by 1, load 0 into that memory address, increment by 1, thousands of times. So I'm trying to take like snapshots of the stack, of the execution stack, and I'm trying to figure out what the hell is doing. Yeah. The interpreter in my ad is poorly optimized for CISC. Yeah, same. Well, I wouldn't know if this is CISC. This is like some weird SIM83 assembly. But I mean, we need to keep going. But here, this one is a first indicator of what should be happening somehow, right? Because here, no, not here. Where was it? I lost it. Here. Here it's writing 9 to this interrupt enable. And then here it's saying that it wants to check for an interrupt starting now. And what that means is that it should be calling at least these V blank interrupt handlers every frame now. So that's one part of it. But besides this, it actually tries to run its own code still, right? And one thing that might be wrong is that I'm trying to run the interrupts at the start of the instruction prior to executing it, but maybe I need to execute the instruction and only then check the interrupt. I don't know, that's a possibility. But I would say that at the very least it should be hindering here at least once. At least once. Which maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it is. Okay, cool. So it's like it's stopping here, and I don't think it's stopping in any other one. If I disable this, like, it's not stopping in any other interrupt handler. But yeah, it's stopping on this one, and I don't know what this one does, but this one will call OX40, and then OX40 is, I mean, somewhere up there. Hello? OX40. Okay. The handler is this, which is essentially like a jump somewhere. And then it should call a return, and then the return will... But this might be what is wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Because yeah, because essentially what this call helper does is it pushes the current program counter into the stack pointers, right? So it will like jump to the interrupt, it runs the interrupt, and then it returns to the last program counter that it was in. It's not a ROM issue, right? It is not a ROM issue. If it were a ROM issue, you wouldn't even finish the regular boot sequence. So without even a cartridge attached, the Game Boy still like scrolls the Nintendo, and it only tries to load the game if all the checksums and all that crap matches, and they are matching, because if not, it wouldn't try to load the game. But now we for sure know it's trying to load the game, but something is failing. I remember blowing on old cartridges usually fix things. Well, yeah, I haven't anything to blow here. Yeah, I have and nothing to blow. I mean, I can blow to the mic, but maybe that won't be very pleasant. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. Yeah, I know these jumps to this memory, like 40. And then it clears this, clears that, it clears the beat, it updates the beat, and then now we should be on OX40, PC OX40, and if we now check, this instruction is jump 16, which then oh, this should be writing inside of that. Cool. Yeah, with the jump is essentially an absolute jump to that value. The value will be OX17E, so it's gonna jump to 70E, which is here. So next is going to be an F5 instruction, opcode, F5 opcode, and an F5 opcode is a push register, push something to AF, and blah 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 blah. But there will be a time where it will, so it pushes 1, pushes 2, pushes 3, pushes 4, and then it does some weird stuff, then a jump, then a call, and then at one point it should have a return I or something. I don't know. It's fairly difficult to understand what the hell is happening. But maybe it shouldn't be handling this. Maybe the issue is this. I don't know. Those things were sensitive. Ignore and continue earlier. Yeah. But yeah, if I were to output to console, What's the warning on that line? Oh, it's a. I'm not using the return value. It should be like. Should be like this. It's just saying that this is returning something that I'm not using for anything. But it's fine. Okay, we go again. Actually, well, but here we should see a OX40. I see. Okay, we keep going. But yeah, it writes this there. And then at the middle of something, it runs the interrupt, see? So it actually worked, like it enabled the interrupt and then 2 instructions later, it runs the interrupt. Which I think is what should happen. But maybe it isn't. But in any case, after running the interrupt, it should return to 2BC, which is the next instruction. But yeah, this does a bunch of stuff, then it gets some data, does some weird stuff, then calls, then calls, then calls, then... I don't know, man. So it calls here, then returns, so it should continue 3 ahead, so ABC, which is fine. Then it calls this one. These are all IRAM situation. I don't know what any of this is doing, but it calls and it returns, so it should continue on EEF, which it is. Then it calls another one. So, but I mean, it's trying to compare this to 12, you know? But I don't know what this means. So it's not critical if it errors. Well, if this errors, then it means that your GPU died. So might as well just crash the entire thing. Because this is like 2 threads, CPU and PPU, which is the GPU essentially, and they are just sending messages back and forth. But if one of them dies, I'd rather have both of them dying as well. Ignoring it won't crash. No. No, it won't crash. There are other places where I'm checking. I'm checking on the PPU if the CPU is alive, and if the CPU is not alive, then I kill the PPU there. So the PPU will never die on its own, essentially. It will only get shut down if the CPU is shut down first. I mean, it's not relevant for the it doesn't need to be hardware accurate, you know. As long as it does stuff, I don't really care if one kills the other or not. Okay, but at least we validated that the the vblank interrupt handler is working. But whenever this exits, it should continue on 2BC. So that's what we need to essentially keep track of. But it pushes all of these registers. Then it loads this value. It sees if this value is 0. If it's 0, it skips ahead 18 bytes. Then it calls a new one. Then whenever it returns from this post 3, which is correct. Then it calls another one. It's comparing to see if this value here. The thing is, I don't know what these values are, right? I don't know what they represent, so I have no idea what these 13 and these 12 and these 3 mean. It's not like there are comments in the ROM. Okay, so this should exit, and this plus 3, and it calls another one. So this is calling multiple functions that do something. It's comparing 8 to 12. It's returning if non-zero. This is probably like to update the parts of the UI, you know, and because the game is not running, then it doesn't care for any of this. But you almost can see here that it's trying to read from E3 and see if A is 13. Then it's trying to read from E3 and checking if A is 12. Then it's trying to read from E3 and checking if A is 11, if A is 10. So it's like trying to figure out what is the current state of the game, like in which screen you are on, almost. 1A5, 1A8. Then it does the same thing, but then it compares A to F. F is the flags, but I mean it just keeps going. Then compares A to E, then A to D, A to C, A to B. I mean, it's just doing a bunch of nonsense. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if this is a counter or what the hell this is, but this is just trying to figure out what is the current state of A. And then it returns, then it calls, then it copies A to FF46, but this is still, oh, FF46 is here. OEM DMA transfer, okay. Okay, this might be something because I don't have anything implemented on this. So it writes a 0 to here. Writing to this registry starts a DMA transfer from ROM or RAM to OEM, object attribute memory. The written value specifies the transfer source divided by 100, that is source and destination are. Okay, source is oh. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. So then I have a theory. FFP6. No. Sorry. Was FFP6 is the memory that gets called to start the new method, the new function. But then this operation is on FF plus 46. But thank you for the call out. Although it's not a correct call out. Okay, so essentially, if I understand this correctly, this is some sort of automated transfer to the OEM. OEM is object attribute memory and is a part of the memory map which holds all of the data for the objects that need to be rendered. So what I wonder is, because we don't have these OAM DMA transfer, all of those bytes will be 0. So we are probably somewhere after trying to figure out, have we written something there? Have we written something there? And probably because we haven't written anything, like it fails and it retries, and that's why it's stuck here. I would say it makes sense. I don't know if that's correct or not, but I would say it makes sense. So it writes a C0 here. Writing to this register starts a DMA transfer from ROM or RAM to OAM. The written value specifies the transfer source address divided by 100. Okay, so if I pass a C0, then my source is C000 to C09F, and this is the destination. And then it tries to do this. On DMG during OAM DMA, the CPU can access only HRAM. For this reason, the program must copy a short procedure, see below, into HRAM and use this procedure to start the transfer from inside HRAM. Okay, so that's why they are copying like all of the flags, all the registers. While on OAM DMA is in progress, the CPU cannot read OAM properly either, thus most programs execute DMA during mode 1. Inside or immediately after their vBlank handler. See, this is starting to make sense. So actually this is not something that is wrong with the emulator, this is just something that isn't implemented. Which, for me, feels way better. For me it feels way better because if there was an issue with the emulator, I wouldn't be able to tell you where it was. Okay. I'm gonna see if Cloud can one-shot an emulator. Bro, don't do that. Or if you do, don't tell me. I will be sad. But I'm pretty sure that it will. I haven't tested it yet. But I've read posts from Reddit. Okay. Small water break. An interrupt writes and return address to the stack, blah 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 blah. Okay. I'll let it eat my quota of tokens and see. Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest with you, because they have the... I wouldn't even tell him anything. Well, I would tell it to do something like implement a Gameboy emulator, obviously, but because you have all the test ROMs here, I would just like give him like 1 or 2 of these and say implement stuff until all of these passes successfully. Make no mistakes. Hello Cbit, welcome to the stream. Can you link that page? I'm sure. Okay, I'm about to leak all of our conversations, but it's whatever. There you have it. Well, yeah. I was dumb. I wasn't thinking properly. 50 days later and 50 million lines of enterprise code. Enterprise code. Okay. So we need to implement this DMA transfer. The transfer takes 160 M cycles in normal speed. Okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? Because essentially, I'm doing this load here. So the only place where I can intercept this is here. Well, no, I don't want to do it here. Although I don't want to do it here. I want to do it on the CPU. So I have this FN right. Because here I have access to the CPU. Let me think. What's the value of this guy? F46. Let. Okay. So if OAM DMA transfer. Okay. What I want to do here is I want to say that this is a OEM DMA transfer. No, done. True. Yeah. Here I want to say that we are starting a transfer. Yes. There I want to say that I'm starting a transfer. Bool false. Okay, I have all of the interrupt shenanigans that I need to move somewhere. Okay, so here I need to do this. So here I'll need to do I'll need to read from that address, which I mean will be I think it's gonna be called the array address. It's whatever. Let source equals that, and then this takes 160 M cycles. Okay, so I can already tell you that I'm gonna need to do this. 160. Good job. And then I set this to false. Now what I need to do here is for y in range, well, no, for y in how many bytes is this? 9F? Yeah, so here I'll need to read from sources U16 plus I. Let byte equals this, and then I'll need to self-write. No, this is not source. This is going to be OXFE00 plus Y, that byte. Okay. And this is going to be OXF46. The written value specifies the transfer source address divided by 100. That is, source and destination are this. Okay. One shot in C# in 5 minutes 11. Good job. You now own your own Game Boy emulator. I hope you feel proud with yourself. Okay. Does this work? Let's see if we stop here. Good job. You stop here. Okay. What is the value that we got there? C0. Which was correct. So here we need to go from C0 plus this and write to FE00 plus that and that byte, and then we advance. Do we need to do something else? Do we need to like I don't know. It panicked. Oh. Yep. Yep. Panicked, obviously. So this is moves 2, 1, 2. No, this is bits. No, it moves 8. Right? It needs to move by 8. As you size. Holy, hold on. Source as U8, you size. Expected U16. Okay, bruh. U16 plus 1. Okay, does this run? I mean, no, it doesn't. But let's source equals this. Let destination equals this. Destination. Okay, source is C000. C000, and then it's gonna write to FE00. Cool. And then it's try to do this a bunch of times. Yep. I mean, that's cool and all, but the value of these bytes, like it's always 0, bro. Writing to this register starts the DMA transfer. Is this byte ever non-zero? I mean, at least it's doing something. I don't know what, but it's doing something. Okay. Where am I now? I mean, we were here and we enabled the interrupt somewhere here, and then it jumps to the handler guy. And this guy. And then it goes and checks all the possible values of A. A76, then it returns to 1C6. It enters here, 5, 4, 3, 2, then returns. calls 187, it loads this value there, checks if, oh, okay, so it's actually checking if there's a value on C0, C6, which will be, no, it won't be, because this only goes up to 9F. Now I'm confused again. Okay, then calls FFP6, that's IRAM. Then checks FF46. Okay, this is where we were. Okay. Okay, so this is where we were. OEM DMA transfer. Does the transfer happen immediately in parallel, or DMA transfer from ROM or RAM to OEM? The return value specifies the transfer source divided by OX100. The transfer takes this. During OEM DMA, the CPU can only access IRAM. I mean, sure. While the DMA is in progress, the CPU cannot read OEM properly either, as most programs execute DMA during mode 1. And waits for it to finish. Oh. Delay for a total of this. Well, this method is here, where it does this to start the OEM thing, and then it loads 28 there, right? It loads like 28 there, and then decrements and jump relatives until it finishes. And eventually it calls return, and then it goes back to 28. Okay. So this looks proper. Then it calls this FFE8. This is still in memory, isn't it? Yes. Loads the value of E8 into A, checks if it's 0, then loads COCE into A, the value of COCE into A. Yeah, but this COCE is not part of the object. Checks if it's 0, and if it's 0, it jumps ahead. And then it returns. Then writes 0 in FF43, FF4 FF for 3. No. Okay, so it's actually trying to scroll stuff. FF for 3, FF for 2. So this is the background scroll. It's writing zeros there. Then FF85. No, this is already IRAM. Right, so 1 there. Then it pops all of this and it returns. Oh. This return I looks wrong. Or maybe not. To BC. This shit is actually correct though. Crazy. So what's not working? We were able to implement an entirely new feature and this still doesn't work. So it loads 1 into all of these weird registers. FFOF interrupts the one which is a V blank. For A and for B is control and status and stuff. For A, no. For A and for B. FF06. Timer and divider. FF06 timer module. This is a 1 here. When time A overflows, it is reset to the value in this register. Okay. FF0. FF00. Oh, and here it's waiting for clicks from the joypad input. Okay, really cool. So I mean, maybe we should be rendering objects and we aren't, and everything else was working properly. But no, that can't be because hold on, can I go on to the PPU? PPU OEM scan. Yeah, I mean, we don't have any objects here. I mean, we are never trying to load objects. I mean, now this is paused. But LCDC is always OX80, which just means that the LCD is enabled. But we are never getting please render objects. I don't know. I do not know. Okay, but we were considering here the timer divider thing. Is the built-in timer for the Game Boy. It has nothing to do with the memory buffer real-time clock. Okay, this is FF06 or FF0F. Okay. So on FF0F I put an A. A is a 15. So a 15 is all enabled. No, it's a 10. So a 10 it's a 8 plus a 2. 1, 2, 4, 8. So it's an LCD plus a serial. So the LCD is a stat. Okay, so now we are waiting for stat interrupts, which we are not also handling properly, I think. So that's one thing. F0F. No, I'm being dumb. Hold on. A is 0. Okay, it is paused. I figured this would be a no problem for Claude. Yeah, it's exceptionally well documented. Probably ripped it all from another implementation is slurped from GitHub. Well, most certainly. Because it's very difficult for humans to actually decipher the way that this is written. So I don't know if we were able to make LLM forget stuff, and if we were only to provide them with this documentation, I actually don't know if there would be enough information there to do anything, to do everything. Simonat, you're making me sad. This is my project. Find yourself a project. Leave my Game Boy alone. Where was I? You might need this to help you fix your bugs. I'm not using it. Okay, so this is setting. A is 0. A is 1. So then it writes 1 to the interrupts. But this interrupt with 1 is only a V blank. Okay. Then for A and for B are LCD stuff. I think it's the position and scrolling. Yeah, it's the window position and scrolling. It's a 1. And then FF06, which is timer and divider. Okay, so maybe now we need something regarding the timer. Yeah, but you can say you made this, not I made AI do it. You get the satisfaction at the end. Well, yes, but if I were to use LLMs to help me, then it kind of defeats the purpose. I mean, this challenge is for myself. I couldn't care less about if this moves slowly or fast. The challenge is, am I able to read very difficult documentation and build an emulator out of it? So that's what I'm trying to figure out for myself. Of course I know the LLM will figure out what the hell is wrong with this, but at that point, I'd rather just download my own random emulator from the internet and use that instead. Okay, we need to read into this FF06 thing. It is reset in the interrupt is requested. Okay, so we might be getting a timer interrupt, but we are not implementing timers, so this won't work. So that might be the next issue. Okay, what happens when you put a 1 here? When time A overflows, it is reset to the value in this register. What is timer? This. Okay, so it counts here, and when it overflows, reset to this, and then interrupt is requested. Example of use: if TMA is set to FF, an interrupt is requested at the clock frequency selected in TAC, timer control. Because every increment is an overflow. What? I see. Because it's like FF plus 1, it's always an overflow. However, if TMA is set to FE, an interrupt is only requested every 2 increments. I see. Okay, so the timer is started. Okay, so I set this timer module to FF. The timer counter starts at FF, and whenever it loops around, it does the thing. I feel like LLMs are an exercise in self-motivation and restriction to do what you actually want to do instead of debating the pointlessness. Yeah. It's an exercise in self-motivation and restriction to do what you actually want to do. I mean, there are people working in game development that are using LLMs. But isn't game development probably one of the most fun things that you can do in terms of coding? Why would you use an LLM for that? I only have one possible justification, 2 maybe. One is you are a 3D designer that don't know how to code and you actually want to build a game with your assets that you built just to see how they look. That sounds plausible and good. The other is you are a failing startup and you need to push features very, very fast. And you might as well just throw an Hail Mary and use a LLM to code everything for 2 months with the hope that you make features faster than you'd be able to do by hand. But yeah, I imagine there are boring and fun parts in all the things. The problem is, where do you draw the line? Yeah, and I think that's a very subjective thing. I mean, for me personally, I enjoy coding very, very much. But coding the types of project that I want to work on, right? Like, there are coding emulators, there is coding of games, there is coding of websites, apps. And for example, regarding to web development, I couldn't care less about web development. Literally, like I do use LLMs to write like little neat dashboards in TypeScript and React and that stuff because I couldn't care less. Well, the line is moving. I mean, no. The line is still where you want it to be. Obviously, it will always be contextual. And I'm not saying that I never use LLMs for coding, but whenever But whenever I'm working on coding things that I enjoy doing myself, then I'm not using LLMs for that. I might bounce ideas like, do you think this is a good way to do stuff? Do you see any possible bug that is gonna happen because of the way that I'm considering implementing this? And then the LLM will tell you, well, your architecture is shit, so you might rethink it. But that's a good thing, that's a learning exercise. But having the LLM do that work for you, then it's pointless. You won't ever learn anything doing that. And I think that's where the world is heading. Like, people won't know how to code in 5 years. Kids out of college won't know how to do an application. It will always be vibes, 100% vibes. People use tools all the time to avoid learning less, though. Avoid learning more. People use tools all the time to avoid learning more. It's contextual. If people want to go through the hard route and do things their way and move slowly but steadily, they still can. But probably what's going to happen is, in terms of actual software development jobs, their managers will tell them, use LLMs. We need to move faster. I couldn't care less for your feelings. I hired you to use an LLM, not to complain. That's where the world is heading. I expect the slow and steady approach is for hobbyists. In commercial environment, you are heavily disadvantaged not using an LLM. That is true. I have a few friends who work at Meta, and it is now required that 75% of code is generated by their LLM. Bro. Yeah. We are burning entire forests doing this shit. But it's fine, because the billionaires will be able to fly to the moon and leave us to die in this poor planet. May us rest in peace. Very sad. Very sad. Okay, we go on. If this is setting the modulo for the timer, then this essentially means that we'll be using this timer somewhere near FF00's tripad input. -2C2, 2C4. Okay, load the 20 there. At 20. I can't convert hexadecimal to. Okay, 20 is a 32. So it's a 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. It's the 5th bit. Select buttons. This bit is 0, then buttons. If this bit is 0, then directional keys can be read from the lower nibble. The lower nibble is read only. Then buttons SS start select PA can be red. Okay, what if... Oh, if not, it's the down, up, left, right. No, because it's either this or this. I'm so confused. If this bit is 0, okay. So if this is 1, then I'm doing this. Then I'm looking for down, up, left, right. I'm definitely being pushed to use it everywhere. Yeah. But I would say that at the start, well, I don't want to spoil much of your current situation, but I would say that it might have been like a small shock when you learned that you were kind of being forced to do that. But at the same time, now you've been using it pretty much a little bit every day, and you are kind of enjoying it. So it's not terrible. It's just the way things are. Personally, I don't appreciate it, but once I actually have to find a job that is not being a Twitch streamer, then maybe I'll be also forced to use an LLM, and then I don't have a choice. I just have to use it. And then any bad feelings I have about them will disappear because I have no other possibility. I wonder if using an LLM to write code at job actually makes traditional obbing programming more fun at home. I would expect it to be. Well, I think it will depend. If it is like people straight out of college, where they never had a proper coding software development career, then they will probably go home and still vibe code at home, because they don't know differently. For people like myself, who have been actually writing code for over 10 years, I would say that yes, it will be more pleasant to write regular code at home, because I mean, to start with, if you are working on something hobby, it's already a project that you want to be working on, so it's going to be way more pleasant than anything job related. So if you are doing your own hobby, you are just writing your own rules to do a project. So in that case, I would say yes. But I mean, it's tough. It's highly subjective. There have been people, and if you check the software and development community here on Twitch, there have been people that have been coding for 20 years or more, and now they 100% vibe code everything, because they made the switch and they vibe code everything, which in my opinion makes a terrible viewer experience, because then the experience is how do I even open a freaking new thing? Then the experience is, hello LLM, please help me fix this error, and then you paste the console crash line blah 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 exception null pointer, and then they click enter, and then you wait 3 minutes, and then they run the app again, and now works, and incredible, you've just seen an LLM streaming and not a person, because the person didn't do shit. please help me. Yeah, full stop. I don't know. I'm very sad the entire situation. I do understand. I wouldn't say I understand the need of it. I do understand why we are moving towards it. I don't particularly agree, but once I'm forced to, then it's GG. I'll do it, and I won't complain, and maybe I'll enjoy it. I don't know. I mean, I think I already showed you one app that I have built fairly recently. I'll just show you because you guys are here pretty much every day. Which is this. I have this open on my MacBook monitor. It essentially tells me who's watching the stream and for how long. And if we have non-followers... Okay, well, let me do this. It's telling me who's watching the stream and for how long. And if we have non-followers watching. And once we have non-followers watching that have been watching for over 10 minutes... I get a pop-up telling me to remind people to follow the channel. But because I know that there are non-followers here, then I don't need to do that. And I can just talk with you. And it even plays like a cute sound cue and all that stuff. This was all vibe coded. I didn't write a single line of this. Because I couldn't care less about web development stuff. Went from George to Palantir real quick. What do you mean? Palantir. Because you've been outed? Because you were watching the stream and didn't even say hi? You spying on us? No, I mean... To be completely honest, I built this mainly to watch for non-followers. But hello WikiWix, welcome to the stream. And I think it's a neat little tool to have. Probably mostly useless for small streamers like myself, but yeah. Because my theory is I might have some non-followers watching the stream and they might have been watching for like 10 or 15 minutes and they might have not even written a single message in chat. So how am I supposed to invite them to follow the channel? And if I know that there are non-followers watching, I might be a little bit more happy or telling some more memes or like spamming the confetti or some weird crap like that, right? Just to keep their attention here. But because there are no followers now, I can chill a little bit and talk with you guys. Okay, what were we doing, guys? This is the joypad stuff. What the hell is the CPL? There's still the timer. I think the issue is the timer. I think it is the timer. Yeah, the timer is this. Putting a 1 there, which means that it's gonna call the timer every 254 clocks. the timer interrupt, which I don't think we currently have. But I also don't see us enabling the timer at all. So maybe we don't do it yet. I don't know. What do I want to do here? Hello? Why is this not opening? I'm streaming, ain't I? I am. Okay, what is a CPL? It's a compliment. I see. Well, you are a very nice A register. There. You have been complimented. Ay ay ay. Making it 3D took an extra 10 to 20 minutes. Do you want to post a video here? Or show me? I wonder how it looks now. Okay, I haven't seen yet a call to this timer thing. Divider register. This register is incremented at I wonder if I think I need to check if I'm reading or writing one of these. Memory map. If index greater than OXFF04 and index less than FF 04567 Lemao 7, sorry, int a equals 0, int lol a equals 0, a plus equals 1. Okay, and they'll put the breakpoint here, and I'll do the same thing here. Okay, I'm just trying to figure out if we actually read or write from there. Okay, so we write to FF06, which is the value 0. FF06, value 0, value 0. Okay. So I don't think we actually... Okay. I think we are safe for now. Well, not safe, but we are writing a 0 here to FF06, but this timer control isn't supposed to be on. This timer is incremented at the clock frequency specified by the TAC register. Yeah, I mean, we are not using FF07. So that's not an issue yet. PL. Okay, let's see where the hell were we. 2C4. To be or not to be. Push, push, push. The hell? What the hell, bruh? I'm very confused now. To 7A3. To be B to be C. Okay. Is there a to be C here? Okay. So to be C, to C4. Okay. Okay, this is waiting for clicks on the joypad. Okay, he's waiting for clicks on the joypad. FF80, where are you, my guy? That's IRAM. F80. XOR A and C. XOR A and C and AEC. Yeah. I don't know what any of this math does, bro. But it's doing something. To C7. To F8. FFE1. That's still IRAM. Oh, and then it has this weird stuff. Okay. What is that? I don't remember. This is just a regular jump. Call address back. Oh, right, because it's only 1 byte. Yeah, it's only 1 byte instead of 3. I see. Then it doubles the value of A, it pops, it does weird stuff. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if there's some memory address that we should handle properly, like DFFF. This is obviously the last byte of the work RAM, but does it actually have a proper meaning? And I don't think it has. DFFF. No. And then here it's just decrementing like 2500 bytes or something. Yeah. To 16 to 17, 18. OX to 18. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we've already been there on OX to 18. Maybe we have. To 18. Yeah, man, I think we looked around and I still couldn't figure out what the hell is wrong with this. Okay, it disables the interrupts. Then FFOF interrupts V blank FF is the interrupt enable register, which is also 1, so it's also V blank. Then 0 here. I think I already did all of this. And then it just goes. I don't know what's wrong. I have no idea what's going on. Do we ever get oh, this might be the issue. If neither buttons nor D-pad is selected, 30 was written. Then the low nibble reads F. All buttons released. I mean, there's something here stuck on an infinite loop, but I can't really figure out why. I really can't figure out why. 32, 20, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. So it's setting select buttons, and then 16, and then 48. She's released. Okay, so it's trying to read if one is selected or the other is selected or the other is released. Okay, what if I put a FF00 here? Program counter 10670. 10672. 10684. 10686. 10688. 10690. 10692. So this is trying to read data. Maybe it's waiting for you to press start. Cuphead, that game has a nice soundtrack. I really want to beat Cuphead. I've never beaten Cuphead. It's crazy difficult. I actually have some weird quote here. I don't know. Let's see if I can trigger it first try. Nope. That one is also true though. Okay, keep trying. There's one quote that says that Cuphead is more difficult than Dark Souls, which is my hot take, but I still think it's true. Okay, I think. Okay, there's one point in time where we are writing OX30 here, which should return F's. The lonely will reads F, which should return F here if this was. So if this is OX30, then this should return F, these four lower ones, and it isn't, so it's pretending as if everything was pressed, but at the same time then it's checking if things are pressed and maybe they aren't. So it's fairly weird. Fairly weird. Memory map. Cannot borrow. Can I do this? Don't remember if I played it. I do like the art style. I was planning on buying some bicycle decks that were made after that game. Oh, didn't know that. There was one point in time where I had a couple of bicycle decks. We are talking card decks, by the way. That I had to practice magic tricks. Because I thought I would be a magician at one point in time. Cuphead. I didn't know this. Let me check. Oh, this is fucking amazing. No, this is custom handmade. This is not it. Hold on. Bicycle. Does this exist? Room 1. Okay, room. Yeah. But it's the same style of game. It looks really cool. Looks really cool. Yeah, so my new theory, because I'm changing theories as the day goes on. The new theory is that there's something wrong when trying to read from here. So let me see what I can do here. Let value equals this. If value equals, it's not a write, it's a read. No. It's not this, my guy. it's not this. I'll leave this be. Does this even boot? Okay, it does. Cool. Can you stop? Yeah, I had some bicycle cards. I don't remember what they were, but there were some very, very fancy ones. It cost me like $20 or something. But I don't know which one they were. But they were something like this, like. Let me see if I can find them. They were all black and white. Black, white. Yeah, I don't think it's none of these, but the vibe was this one. This was the vibe, but with an inverted color scheme. Yeah, like this. I might have them somewhere. Very fancy. Oh, did I write bicycle wrong? Bicycle. Probably. I'm not the only one that I have to think twice before figuring out where the Y. Bicycle reverse. Yeah. It was very, very premium. Like, it felt nothing like any other cards deck. Yeah, very fancy. Yeah, I might need to buy one. Prestige line. Bicycle, prestige cards. Maybe. No. No. I don't even remember where I bought them from. I don't know if it was from eBay or something. Let me check my email just to see if it's there. But this is like 15 years ago. No, it's not there. I don't remember, but they're pretty nice cards. I think I might have them somewhere. I will try to figure out where they are. Okay, so my theory is that when reading from here, there will be a point in time where this value will actually be OX30. Now it's OX20. Now it's OX20. OX10, OX20. Okay, so maybe they are never OX30. Okay, hold on. Value. I mean, maybe it will never stop there. Okay. Fake news. Forget anything I said. Okay, we are still stuck. We are still stuck. Okay, guys, do any of you have any suggestion whatsoever? Okay. Instead of asking ChatGPT, I'd rather download an existing emulator and log all of the instructions and see if they matched. Yeah, Simon, share what Claude did. Maybe he shared with me on the other PC. Hold on. Okay. I'm opening Discord. Holy. Hold on, I'm confused. Is this a 3D model? This just looks like a... Okay, hold on. Does this actually play the game? Question number 1. Question number 2. Isn't this just an image? Or is this actually a 3D model? Fully 3D animated, playing render to texture. Really cool. Yeah. Video link after. Okay. I'll wait for it. I will wait for it. Okay, guys, do we have any idea? Should be there. Bruh, I just... Holy fuck. Ah, it has a bug. When it shows the new name, it has a bug. See, it sucks. Like on top of name, like all of the artifacts. It freaking sucks. The tilting is fun. Really nice. Really, really nice. Shrinks margin. There's a fixed boundary. Ah. I see. Okay, guys, what the fuck do we do here? It's not the joypad because it's not reading from FF00. It might be the timer, but we are not ever getting a set on timer control. Well, this is a read. This is a read. Let me clear this. This is FF07. We are never actually enabling this, unless this is enabled by default, but it isn't. So I have no idea what is wrong. Oh, it's like GL clamp edge or something, then repeat the last pixel, something like that. Well, it's called GL repeat. Yeah. You have a GL wrap, GL repeat. Iki, I need help. Help! I don't know what to do. This is fake news, by the way. This is not true at all, I think. For the Tetris game. Maybe it is, and I have no idea. No, it's this. 7Fs. ROM bank. Do I actually need to do something here? Because if the Tetris game doesn't have multiple ROM banks, why would they include this instruction there? It's just a useless instruction now. And this doesn't help, like, explaining at all. What do I do with my life? What do I do with my life? Banking mode select. I mean, but we already validated that this has no additional banks. Hello to Fitian, welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. This one is for you. Hooray! Hooray. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. The banking mode can be 0 simple or 1 advanced. 5,000. What other ROMs have you tried? Only Super Mario Land. The issue is I do not have all of the instructions implemented. I'm implementing instructions as I go, because there are 512 of them, and I don't want to go with that boring ass job mapping all of them if I don't need them. At one point I'll need to do it, obviously, but for now I don't know. I mean, he still has a banking mode select, but it says that this is a banking mode register. Like, what the hell does this mean? Before external run can be read or written, it must be enabled by writing A to anywhere in this address space. Okay, so what are we actually writing here? Okay, so this is address, oh no, this is address OX 2000, which is this. Okay, guys, the wife is asking me to do something fairly quickly, so I will be back in 1 minute or something. Be right back. Olá, olá. I am back. Yeah, in order to celebrate Simonot's heritage, the wife is making me a kilt. Yep, true story. 100% true story. Yeah. Would be if I was Scottish. Well, you are from Great Britain, so it's kind of the same. Aren't you British? But yeah, we didn't have a carnival when it was supposed to happen because of some storms here in Portugal. So we'll have carnival in the end of April instead. So that will be my costume. Very fancy. Wow, indeed. I usually dress as a woman. Are you going full cock out? Yes. It's a very regular, normal to dress as a woman. This is not me, obviously, but and sometimes I do, and sometimes I do like regular. See? Beautiful. But I mean, it's going to be on during a time where there's nice weather here, so I think it will be very, very cool. Usually it happens in February where it's cold as hell. Like borderline, almost negative temperatures. Coolest balls in town. Yep. Like little grapes, you know. Okay, so this is writing a 1 here. I mean, it's always a 1. I don't know what to do. This 5-bit register. What the hell does this mean? Select the ROM bank number. Registers. Before any external RAM can be read or written, it must be enabled by writing A to anywhere in this address space. External RAM, which I don't think we have. This 5-bit register selects the ROM bank number for the 4007F's region. Higher bits are discarded. What do you mean 5-bit register? Maybe I'm doing something here with this bank selection, but I can't understand what the hell this means. Tetris, Gameboy disassembly. Char map. audio, age RAM. I mean, this is all fairly useless if I don't have the pointer, the program counter. Tetris is assembly. I mean, this doesn't tell me anything. This doesn't have comments. Ay, ay, ay. Compiles 1-to-1. If you say so, my guy. I don't think so. No, I don't think there is. I don't think I can search either from here. I got this playlist from someone else, and then I removed all the songs I didn't like. Oh. Serial. Page blank, serial. Menu title, init. Bro, this is huge. Okay, guys, we need a plan. We need a plan. How are we going to figure out what the hell is wrong? This write address 2000 is really weird. Simonot tried to explain it to me using an output from an LLM, because obviously it doesn't know shit of what he's saying. Tetris writing the ROM address. Holy fuck. Amazing. Guys, we found it. My emulator tries to write ROM at address, which should be illegal. Yep. I've looked at the ROM in an X editor and double checked my implementation of the instructions used for this, but it all seems to be fine. The previous instructions are also clean. Setting up some audio registers, blah 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 blah, but then it does this. ROM bank switching, but it's still weird because Tetris doesn't use a memory bank. On a retail cartridge, it's a plain ROM. The write is ignored. The theory is that the development cartridge was an NBC1 though. Writing to anything between this and this. Okay. So that's not the issue. I mean, it's a no-op in case of Tetris, but I'm desperate. I don't know what we need to be doing now. What pains me the most is that this gets stuck here. It doesn't render anything. And I don't know why. But if you go on the PPU, it's also not trying to load objects. So this thing is not doing anything. It should be drawing pixels. And if I put a breakpoint there, it sometimes enters in the stuff. Cool, I clicked restart. Good job, me. But yeah, I don't know. I legit do not know. It's still at the same 2000 thing as before, but it's not now. Yeah, so now for anything, well, for this ROM only, because I knew this ROM is special. Special in the sense that it's the simplest possible ROM that you can have. Because I did my homework. Anything that you should try to write, here it's only a no-op. But it always comes as the write to 2000, which is just trying to set the ROM bank. I can try and do this index different than 2000 and run it, but yeah, I mean it returns immediately. And I don't know. I do not know. What pains me the most it's that it's not even rendering anything. Like it's just stuck. I mean, my other theory is that it can be this timer register, which causes a timer interrupt every once in a while. But this never gets started. We never write to FF07. We also never read or write to any of these except for writing to FF06. So it's actually not, it's also not the timer. We already did that OEM DMA transfer, which should be working, but for some reason it isn't. I wonder if it's getting stuck on this serial stuff because it tries to create a serial stuff at the start. Like I don't know. on Reddit they suggest to ignore those write operations, whatever that means, and apparently it's a common question from those writing an emulator. Yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't know that a write to OX2000 would be the ROM bank selection, but I knew for a fact that Tetris doesn't have a secondary bank, and that's why this should be a no-op. Once we go to Super Mario Land has an additional ROM bank, so we'll need to support it there. But for now, this is whatever. This should work for Tetris. Yeah, but this doesn't cause the issue. This is not the issue. There's a loop where it writes to blah blah blah. Yeah, well, there's also the forbidden part that we also saw. Ignore those write operations. Well, will it get fixed if I ignore them? FEFF. Because that might be a possibility. I have no freaking idea. But there's this not usable that they were writing to. So I wonder if there's something weird here. FEA0, FEFF. So they try to write there. FEFF, FEFE, then they go back. So they're trying to do this. So what happens if I put a return here? I mean, if this fixes it, this would be crazy stuff. Okay, doesn't matter. Does not matter. I mean, no, I could have the thing there and just put a no up there. Return greater than 0 and index less than FEFF. Okay. Does this also happen when reading from there? FEA0, FEFF, FEA0. Yeah, I mean, they never try to read from there, so the writing doesn't do anything. I have no idea. I have no idea. But the reason why I chose Tetris is it's supposedly to be one of the simpler ones. Apparently not. Apparently not. It's one of those annoying things where it will affect any game. Yeah. I mean, it's not the timer. I thought it would be the object loading, but I implemented that. It's not the timer, it's not the joypad. The interrupts are working as they are supposed to. I think. So I think that what that leaves me is that there's one instruction that is incorrect and it's causing all of this nonsense. Do we want to ask Mr. Codex guy if he can find an issue? Might be. Do we? We won't look. Should make it read only, to be sure. Gameboy, Tetris, boot, loop. Got Tetris to boot to the tile screen, you fucking bastard. In Java, bro. I am being humiliated by freaking Java people. The biggest thing I got stuck was on the screen was all white and nothing was being drawn. This was because my JIP register was set to WX00, so Tetris was constantly resetting. JIP register. What do you mean by JIP register? Joypad input was set to OX00. Huh? I recommend making FF00 read only and setting it to OXF when you initialize RAM in order to avoid this until we have button input working, of course. I mean, this was a theory because I knew that if you put a 30 there, which is essentially putting both as one, I think, then you should return FFs all the way, but this was not getting called. FF00. Bro, but there are not many stuff writing to FF00. Okay, this writes OX20. Which is select buttons. So if this is 1, then it is trying to figure out if down, up, left or right is selected. Then it can also be a 16, which is this one, which will try to figure out. No, it's actually the other way. 1, 2, 4, 8, 32. Well, one will check the start select BA, the other will check the down, up, left, right. But then there's a third value that gets written here, which is this OX30. And OX30, if neither is selected, meaning that OX30 was written, then the low nibble reads F. I mean, so one thing that I can try to do here is let me mute the value, and here I can say value this. And this maybe will fix it. And I've wasted like 6 hours of my life. GG, it didn't fix it. No, but this is only for if no. If e value equals OX30, then I do this. Else I don't do anything. Yeah, it's only this. Still nothing. It's not that. The lower nibble is read only. A button being pressed is seen as the bit being 0. If neither are selected, OX30 was written. I mean, but this is only written like once or something. 1, 2. Okay, so it's actually written multiple times. Then the low nibble reads OXOF. Bitwise OR. So it's a value or this. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as plus equals 1 is equals to this, which is equals to this. But Rust doesn't have this plus plus. If you guys didn't know. I do not know. Okay, we will keep reading. This was because my JIP register was set to OX00. I recommend making F00 read only and setting it to F when you initialize RAM. I mean, you can also do this. This won't work. This is not the issue. Check where it loops in the game. What's the latest instruction it ever reaches? It's looping the same 100 instructions. Where it clears the RAM, then it initializes the RAM, then it tries to read some input from... it sets audio, it sets interrupts, and then something weird happens and it's goes back and does the same thing. by doing value or F when it remains as OX30. What do you mean? This doesn't even exist. No, this is a bitwise OR. Bit OR. Okay, these guys are telling me to set this freaking thing. Memory map. Bro. No, bro, this doesn't work. Left drive set to 0 the whole time. Streamer skipped my suggestion to look at game code. I mean, game code is this, is bytecode. And then I'm printing all of these lines here. But this is only a few of them. Because it's doing like this loop 140 and something times, for example, which is like waiting for a new frame. Which instruction does it loop on? I do not know. I do not know. Let's see, but maybe we can check that because it will be like the last jump if thing. Okay, so we were on 2C4 first previously. Okay, I think I see what you mean. Trying to see the like the actual last call before rewinding everything. Need the visual debugger with assembly. Yeah, I wanted to add support to a GUI, but you said no, remember? So this goes all the way there, and then does a bunch of shit. And then it calls this, and then it jumps to OX28, and then it starts incrementing. Oh, and then it jumps all the way back to this red tie goes to 0, which might be the issue. Why is this red eye? Because then this is just like clearing the same like 800 bytes over and over again on memory. So yeah, this is getting sent all the way down to 0 here. I mean, but there's not a jump. Red eye. Ay ay ay. This is grabbing inputs from the keyboard. This is just grabbing stuff, setting interrupts and whatnot. And then here it returns. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this goes to 296. Well, in this case it then returns here. So here this is another check. It's a bunch of zeros, a bunch of ones. But then it returns to C7, which is after this call here, so all fine and dandy. Then it calls to F8, to F8 does this, then it jumps back to 28, and then 28 ends up going to 0 again. Yeah, there's something weird causing this to go to 0. So either I'm jumping one more than I should be, or like popping from the stack pointer. $20.92. I don't know. The issue is I cannot tell what this is doing. Can you paste be in the log? Yes. Okay, go and check your favorite LLM and then tell me the answer. I mean, this is reading from FF00 is the input stuff. So I wonder if we are getting a 0 there. I mean, we are not getting a 0 because if we were getting a 0, I would know. I would know. No, I copy pasted all I had. The last 1,000 instructions. Does it put at 0? I don't think it's supposed to, no. Whenever we finish boot ROM, it should start loading at 100. Why is it not? Okay. OX 100. But then it might be sent back for some reason. I don't know. But I would say that the first bytes are cartridge header. Like this would be cartridge header, I would say. But maybe not. I don't know. Now I would say that here is where, until these FFs, is where you set all your interrupt handlers. Essentially. Because they need to be hard-coded. So it's like 20, 28, 40, 48, stuff like that. So here are the interrupt handlers. I don't know what there is at C3. There's something, there's a jump something. So I don't know. I mean, when we are reading from the input thing, we are never reading a 0. We are reading a 20, 20, 20, 20, a 10, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 10, 10, 10. So we are never reading a 0 from here. So this is not the same issue as the other folks had. If you want, I can add more context. Well, not more context, I can add more length to this, like 10,000 or something. Yoink. Copy. I mean, maybe Mr. GPT guy will be able to tell me. I mean, most of these are the same instruction over and over again. So it's kinda useless. Can I figure out like a smaller loop? Oh, it only pasted 5,000 somehow. Oh, because of this. Oh, I see. Well, before of to see. Freaking hell. to be A. Okay, let's OX to be A this guy. And then do a 50,000 lines of code. Surely the LLM will know what to do. Surely. I don't even know if this is 50,000 lines. Probably not. It's 5,000 still. Well, GG. 27B. And this is to be A. This is very weird. Why isn't the first instruction that one? Well, probably because I don't have enough history here. Can I... What can I do? I don't even know. Okay, let's try this. Can you figure out? Rust Rover is not responding. It doesn't like all of these text. Holy. What? It only lets me write one letter at a time. Is wrong. With boo ting Tetris it appears to get stuck on an infinite loop. Okay, good luck, LLMers. Holy. Ay. The IDE is not enjoying having this allowance. Go. I would say that if anything is it's a weird instruction that has like the wrong flags or something. It's already saying that it could be the decrement one here, which when I wrote it I didn't understand what the nibble stuff was. Yeah, I think it's missing like the nibble decrement here. Yeah. And they also don't have it here. Okay. We found two possible issues. GG. I thought I had I had done this. Well, there's the half carry here. Okay, and I think I need to do this for increment and decrement as well. Okay. Let's try. Half carry. Guys, is this gonna work? Half carry. Okay, this is the decrement. So this is the value, and it only if the first byte is equal to 0. Not the first byte, the first nibble. Right? I think this is what this means. So if the first set the overflow from bit 3. Okay, hold on. This will probably be the increment stuff. So here, carry off carry. I don't want to do this. Off carry, and this doesn't matter. Okay, increment. So if this number is OXOF, then it will loop 1. Okay. And I don't think I have those for the that thing. Now, if this is 0 and it decrements, then here it's a half carry is going to be 0. Here we half carry. First try. Hooray! It didn't work. Good job, guys. Okay. I assume rest has only one-liners, but you like the readability of an if-else. No, you don't have a ternary operator. It's literally this. You don't have a value equals to this, true, false, for example. You don't have this. You need to use a if-else. Wow, crazy. Crazy stuff. Oh, conversation interrupted. Fuck. I thought I had the answer. Sorry. Go again. It's not boot ROM code, it's... Ay, ay, ay. Ah, is that the Tetris cartridge? Of course. Yeah, I wonder what type of visualization tools I could have that would help me. Where is the decrement? Disassembly and step by step. Whoa. That would be crazy, bruh. That would be crazy. Yeah, that makes sense. It's not gonna get done today. Then the... Oh my god. This is so boring. Your stat register handling is wrong. Holy, what the fuck? Your PP writes the stat mode bits, but write memory map immediately zeroes them back out. That makes stat always look like mode 0 with no coincidence. Have you done to my LLL? I've been forced to. I'm legit stuck. But whatever the LLM was saying was false. This fucking clueless. The loopy pace is not the bug by itself, it's a normal finite memory loop in Tetris. 165, holy. Is your log the number? Yes, they are always X, hexadecimal. Is mask with value and this. Oh, I see. Yeah, this makes sense. Because I'm trying to write these bits here, but this is always masking them out. For fuck's sake, it's not this the key. Nope. For fuck's sake. I've been bamboozled. I've been completely bamboozled. I mean, but now this probably will show something different. CPU flag bugs. Deck ink alpha carry RL0 flag, but the stat. RL0 flag. Do we have an RL0 flag issue? RL register. Carry is if the result if the new value is 0. It's not new C, it's new value. This doesn't look okay. Wherever I made it here, now it's messed up, but if I put new C, it works. Now I'm very confused. Can you let it run for a while and give log again? No, but I'm hard coding the logs. Hold on. What I need to do. Hold on. What I need to do is essentially just leave it running, but writing to a file instead of writing to console, because writing to console is painful. Where is this? I'm already tired. Where the hell is this? The hell? I can't find it. Okay, I'll just leave this pending. Now memory goes brah. Hopefully. 19.7, 90. Okay, it's kind of fine. Okay, so I will now need to run this manually, but terminal cd code Gameboy cd target cd release. Okay, I'm just making sure that this is all fine and dandy. If I now do Gameboy, nope. If I now do Gameboy exe, okay, properly runs. Oh, this is the old one. Oh, okay. Oh, I closed it. Holy crap. D cd code cd Gameboy target debug ls Gameboy exe. Okay, memory banks. Okay, can I? How do I do this in Windows? Output text. Okay, should be writing, and then if I close it, hello? This is not going. It's probably too big. Oh, it wrote 85 megabytes of crap. Whoops. Whoops. I mean, hold on. Meow, meow, meow. No, I want to push this. What I want to do instead is on key L, when I do this, I also want to clear, well, after, I want to clear the instructions. So last self dot instructions, last instructions. Bruh, why are you making this so difficult? Oh, because now it's complaining here. Okay. So if I now remove this file, I'll write this. I don't know if this worked. Nope. 32 kilobytes. Okay, hold on. Key L. Okay, I'm gonna do a if Z, I do this. Okay, compile this. Good job. Oh my god, stop. Can't I even open a partial here? I can. Gameboy XC, do that. Gameboy XC, do a output.text. Okay, I'll do a Z and an L. Now I kill this. I'm just trying to figure out if this thing works. I don't even know why it crashes. $28 megabytes. Damn. Damn. Okay, we just need to figure out where the hell is the first loop, you know? Like this is looping a bunch of times until here at least. So we might as well do this here. 27A. Paste bin. Yeah, you need to chill. I can't upload a 20 megabyte file. I'm just trying to figure out 27A, 27A. Okay, hold on. I can do this. O27A. Okay. So I think this is the loop, right? It's like 50,000 lines. So this is the last one and this is the first one. 27B, and it comes from 27C. No. And it goes to 27E. Okay, hold on. Then I might as well just yoink all of this. Wife has arrived, by the way. I might need to kill stream very, very fast. Yeah, actually I need to get going. EcoX, I will upload this. I will send you this, but I need to get going. I need to go and take care of stuff with the wifey, if you guys don't mind. Friends, thank you very much. Hooray to all of us. We made it another day alive and another day without the Game Boy booting. GG's. Yeah, I really need to get going. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll be back with some game development. Bye-bye.